Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, I'll focus on game week 26 and my transfer plans and the captain selection for the next game week. I'll also take a look at the updated information about the blanks and the upcoming doubles. And I'll also revisit my chip strategy. So let's have a look. But first, a really quick look at double game week 25 and the results. So many blanks from my team. I'm on 46 points and a red arrow so far. Hopefully Aston Villa can do something against Liverpool in the last game of double game week 25. So for me, it's only Trent and Gabriel with clean sheets of 6 points each. And of course, Mo Salah scoring again 16 points for him so far. But he is over 200% when it comes to effective ownership, so hopefully he can stay quiet against Aston Villa. I have a Villa triple up with Emery, Rodgers and Martinez, so hopefully Aston Villa can do something in the last game. Rodgers blanked against Ipswich, 10 men. Ipswich, they played almost 40 minutes with only 10 players, but he managed to blank. He actually had the highest expected goal of all players in double game week 25, so hopefully he can deliver in the last game. Gakpo did not play in the first game in double game week 25 and will probably not play in the second game, so Anderson with 2 points will come in as my first player on the bench. So not a great week. Blanks from Joe Pedro, my Newcastle double up with Gordon and Isaac as well. Cole Palmer, kind of frustrating seeing him, but he has really good fixtures, so I will probably just keep Cole Palmer going forward. So as mentioned, 46 points and a red arrow so far. Hopefully Aston Villa can do something against Liverpool, but let's take a look at the team for game week 26. As mentioned, a red arrow so far in double game week 25. I'm not really that convinced when taking a look at my game week 26 team, to be honest. I have my assistant managership active on Emery. I'll probably just keep it on him. I only have 1 free transfer and 0 in the bank, so I will probably just try to save up a couple of transfers. In goal, Martinez playing against Palmer. That's not ideal. I have Trent playing against Man City, tough fixture. Man City, they have actually started to score recently, so I don't expect a clean sheet from Trent, but hopefully he can get some attacking returns. To look at this team, I have 3 players playing away against Man City. Doesn't look good on paper, but hopefully Liverpool can perform. My Newcastle double up playing against Nottingham Forest. They have been really solid defensively, but hopefully Newcastle can do something. They did not look great in double game week 25, but hopefully they can find back to the form they had around Christmas. At the moment, I have Lewis Hall and Mikolenko on my bench. I will probably be tempted to play one of them, but at the moment I prefer having Trent, Gabriel and Anderson playing against Crystal Palace at home. As mentioned, not really impressed by my own team looking at it, but I will have to consider making a transfer. The captaincy is tough for game week 26 as well, and I'll discuss that more later. We got some new information and predictions when it comes to the doubles and the blanks for the rest of the season. As you can see on the screen, in blank game week 29, we know that Liverpool and Newcastle, they reached the final in the EFL Cup, so they will have a blank in game week 29, and their opponents, Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, will blank as well. At first, we thought that the blanks in blank game week 29 would be moved ahead to double game week 33, but at the moment we know that the Crystal Palace Liverpool game actually got played this game week in double game week 25, and we know that the Crystal Palace against Newcastle game will be played in double game week 32. This means that there are still a free midweek slot in game week 33, and as it looks right now, the blanks because of the FA Cup semi-finals in game week 34 will be moved forward and be played in double game week 33. This means that there will be less double game week fixtures in double game week 36. I'll discuss this when I talk about my chip strategy. So this is my chip strategy at the moment. The assistant manager chip is active. I will probably play my free hit in blank game week 29. It's really team dependent. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the best strategy, to be honest, but my team have 8 players that will have a blank, so I might as well go all the way and use the free hit in blank game week 29 and try to cope with blank game week 34 by using my free transfers. In game week 32, Newcastle will have 2 home games against Man United and Crystal Palace, so I will probably play my triple captainship on Alexander Isak in double game week 32. When it comes to blank game week 34, I will have to use my transfers to cope and have 11 players that given week, but if it looks like there will be hard for me to have 11 players without taking hits, I will probably just play my wildcard in blank game week 34. Hopefully I can keep my wildcard until game week 35, so I can get the players with the best fixtures for the remaining 4 game weeks. There will probably be a couple of doubles in double game week 36 as well. We're not yet sure which teams will have a double in game week 36. This depends on the results in the FA Cup. But however, I will probably use my wildcard in game week 34 or 35 and set up a decent team for the rest of the season. I'll have a strong bench as well, so I can use my bench boost in game week 36. I know that a lot of FPL managers are going to use their wildcard in game week 30 or game week 31, bring in players from Newcastle and Crystal Palace. I will already have those players in my team because of the free hits in blank game week 29, so they're in my team at the moment, so I will never sell them. So this is one positive about using the free hit for my team, since I have triple up on Newcastle, I have triple up on Liverpool as well, and I have a couple of Aston Villa players. So in sum, this is 8 players with a blank in blank game week 29. As mentioned, the wildcard in game week 30-31 will be a really popular strategy. I think that if you have enough transfers to manage to field 11 players in blank game week 29 without taking a hit, I actually think that wildcarding in game week 30 or 31 is a really good strategy. But if you have a team like me with 8 players with a blank, you might as well play your free hit. Let me know in the comments down below what is your chip strategy for the rest of the season. Before game week 26, I made 2 different watch lists, one for the strategy if you're not using your free hit and one with a free hit strategy. So if you're not going to use your free hit in blank game week 29, I would advise you to focus on players from Bournemouth. I've added 3 of their assets in the list. They're midfielders, really good value, really promising fixtures as well. So Kluivert is on penalties. He's 6.0, so not that cheap anymore. His ownership is gone up to 26 as well, so not a differential, but a really solid pick. Django, he is playing out of position, playing as a striker ever since Evan Nilsson got his injury, so I think that he is really interesting. He frees up some funds as well, only priced at 5.1 and 3.5 ownership. Semenyo, he has been talked about all season, but got competition from both Kluivert and Django. I like both of them, but Semenyo is still a decent pick. 5.7, 8.6% owned. My favorite would be Kluivert, Django and Semenyo in this order, but let me know in the comments down below who is your favorite Bournemouth midfielder. So if you're going to use your free hit chip in blank game week 29 as discussed, I would advise you to bring in Crystal Palace players. They have a blank in game week 29, but decent fixtures after game week 29. And they also have a double game week in double game week 32 and possibly a new double game week in 33 as well. So focusing on Crystal Palace players if you're using a free hit is probably a really good strategy. Those are the players I would recommend bringing in. Mateta 7.3, only selected by 8% of the managers. SA, of course, their talisman on most set pieces. Sharing penalties with Mateta and 7.5% ownership, so still a differential. When it comes to defenders, I would advise you to consider Munoz. I know that Crystal Palace haven't kept that many clean sheets recently, but he is so attacking, and I can see him get more attacking returns in the upcoming fixtures. When it comes to transfers ahead of game week 26, I will probably just save my transfer. I only have one transfer and 0 in the bank as mentioned earlier, but one thing I would really like to do is to sell João Pedro and bring in Mateta. João Pedro is actually a minute risk at the moment, not starting games, and even though he is on penalties, I think there are better options. He's only selected by 11%, but going for an 8% owned Mateta could be good for our ranks. When we consider expected goal involvement, we can see that João Pedro only has 0.83, while Mateta actually has an expected goal of 4.76 in the last 4 games. This is actually the best numbers of all players in the Premier League at the moment. So Mateta, if you're going to free hit in blank game week 29, I'd advise you to take a look at him. There is a price gap of almost 2 million between João Pedro and Mateta, so I would have to free up some funds, and selling Trent Arnold and bring in Munoz is my best option at the moment. So Trent 7.4, Munoz 4.8. And when we take a look at the fixtures, it might probably be a good idea for me to do it this week, but I will probably just save a transfer, get more information, and play Trent against Man City in game week 26. So if I go for the free hit in blank game week 29 strategy, bringing in Crystal Palace players will probably be my plan. It will give me 9 players with a blank in blank game week 29. So if I make those moves, I'm really committed to the free hit in blank game week 29. The captaincy for game week 26 is tough in my opinion. Liverpool and Mo Salah, they are playing against Man City at the Etihad, so not the best fixture. I know that Man City have been one of the worst teams, but recently they have been looking a bit better. Kept 2 clean sheets in the last 4 games, only conceded 6 goals, 6 big chances conceded, which is quite good. 16 shots on target, and they have an expected goals conceded of 3.86. So Man City, as mentioned, starting to tighten up at the back, scoring more goals. So of course we can hope for a goal fest in the Man City against Liverpool game, and Mo Salah will most probably be involved. At the moment I'm also considering another option. I know that he didn't look good in double game week 25, but let's take a look at the numbers. Alexander Isak playing against Nottingham Forest. We learned recently that Nottingham Forest actually have been one of the best teams defensively, but there have been a little shift recently. When we take a look at the stats, they're not that good as we saw around Christmas. So in the last 4 game weeks, Nottingham Forest have kept 1 clean sheet, conceded 9 goals, 10 big chances conceded, and they actually have 28 shots on target, which is most in the league in the last 4 games. They have an expected goals conceded of 5.64, which is 10th in the league. So recently Nottingham Forest have been topping those kind of statistics, but for the last 4 game weeks they actually haven't been that good. So I might consider giving the armband to Isak, but it's too early for me to make a decision. I will give an update on captaincy on the Q&A I will be hosting on Thursday. Remember that there's a Friday deadline in game week 26 as well, same as in double game week 25, so make sure to be prepared. Thanks for watching, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more FPL content.